time markers. Indonesian does not conjugate its verbs to indicate tense. Instead, it relies on context, such as time markers, time-related words, adverbs, prepositions, conjunctions. Specific time markers are time markers that represent a specific time point or period of time, such as besok, tomorrow, keesokan harinya, the day after. Non-specific time markers are time markers that express frequency, duration, temporal ordering, such as kadang-kadang, sometimes, lama, for a long time, sudah, already, or sesudah, after. Specific time markers. Specific time markers are time markers that represent a specific time point or period of time. As described in the subsection above about sentences, specific time markers usually go either at the beginning or the end of sentences. Specific time markers such as calendar periods and clock times usually take the preposition pada, 1a. Lebih dari 4 orang wisatawan dimakan pada bulan October. More than 4 tourists were eaten in October. However, di or dalam are sometimes used ungrammatically instead of pada with hari, bulan, tahu. Example 1a, lebih dari 4 orang wisatawan dimakan di bulan October. Suatu, a certain, is used when a time point is indefinite. Example 1b, suatu hari nanti saya akan pergi ke Pulau Komodo. Someday I will go to Komodo Island. In addition, specific time markers can express relative times with respect to the narrator's present time, such as besok, tomorrow, or absolute times with respect to the narrative's present time, such as keesokan harinya, the next day. Here's an inventory of specific time markers for days and years. For example, yesterday, kemarin, the day before, kemarinnya or sehari sebelumnya. Today, hari ini. That day, hari itu. Tomorrow, besok. The next day, keesokan harinya. For years, last year, tahun yang lalu. Absolute time, the year before, tahun sebelumnya. This year, tahun ini. That year, tahun itu. Next year, tahun depan, tahun yang akan datang. And the year after, tahun berikutnya, tahun setelahnya. Here are 3 salient features from the inventory above. There are a small number of idiosyncratic time markers such as kemarin, yesterday, besok, tomorrow, keesokan harinya, the next day, lusa, the day after tomorrow. However, the general pattern is number plus time period plus lalu or depan for relative time. Example 1a, 10 hari lalu, 10 days ago. And the pattern number time period sebelumnya or kemudian for absolute time. Example 1b, 10 hari sebelumnya, 10 days before then. Tadi, earlier, nanti, later, are used for the 24-hour period around the narrator's relative present time or the narrative's absolute present time. Here are 2 quirks. Tomorrow morning, the following morning, is not nanti pagi itu, but instead besok pagi, tomorrow morning, or besok pagi itu, the morning after. Tadi, nanti are unusual because they can go before or after the time word that they modify. Here's a list of relative times that use tadi, nanti, and the exception for tomorrow morning. Last night is tadi malam, or malam tadi. Tadi can go before or after. And then tomorrow morning is besok pagi. As is described in the presentation about duplications, one of the functions of word duplication is to express excessiveness. Accordingly, pagi-pagi means very early in the morning. It's synonymous with dini or dini hari. Similarly, malam-malam means very late at night. It's synonymous with larut malam. Non-specific time markers. By contrast to specific time markers, non-specific time markers express frequency, such as kadang-kadang, sometimes, duration, such as lama, for a long time, or temporal ordering, such as sudah, already, or sesudah, after. Moreover, most non-specific markers are pre-verb adverbs that go between the subject and verb, instead of at the beginning or end of sentences like specific time markers. In example 1a, saya tidak akan bisa membunuh Komodo itu. I will not be able to kill that Komodo dragon. Moreover, as is also the case for specific time markers, non-specific time markers are used in relative contexts and in absolute contexts. Example 1b, masa kecil saya kadang-kadang menonton acara tentang Komodo. When I was young, I sometimes watched TV shows about Komodo dragons. Here's an inventory of non-specific time markers. For example, earlier is tadi, now is sekarang, kini, later is nanti, kelak. Preverb adverbs, when for two events, after, setelah, sesudah, before, sebelum. Preverb adverbs, how often, always is selalu, senantiasa. Sometimes is kadang-kadang, never tidak pernah. Preverb adverbs, for how long, since, sejak, until, sampai. Preverb adverbs, already or not yet, so tense-like things. Recent past is sudah, formal, telah. The negation is belum, not yet. Future, akan, informal, bakalan, formal, hendak, and negation tidak akan, will not. Here are four salient features from the inventories above. Like Chinese, Indonesian is not phased in the least by the absence of tenses. Here's what it does instead. Past tense. Usually, context or specific time markers are used to express that something happened in the past. Example 1a, kemarin saya melihat seekor komodo. Yesterday I saw a Komodo dragon. The non-specific time markers pernah, once, sudah, already, baru saja, just, are also common. Example 1b, saya baru saja melihat seekor komodo. I just saw a Komodo dragon. However, in a pinch, Indonesian resorts to a couple of specialized, non-specific time markers. Sempat. Sempat's primary meaning is to have the time or opportunity to do something. It emphasizes that something has been done as opposed to when exactly it was done. Example 2a, saya belum sempat bepergian ke Pulau Komodo. I have not yet had the chance to travel to Komodo Island. Sempat's secondary meaning is synonymous with pernah, once, but it tends to show up in contexts that correspond to the English preterite, as in was, example 2b, tadi malam seekor makhluk aneh sempat terlihat di hutan. Last night a strange creature was seen in the jungle. And sempat is used in past perfect context, as in had been. Example 2c. Malam sebelumnya seekor makhluk aneh sempat terlihat di hutan. The night before, a strange creature had been seen in the jungle. In addition, corresponded nested time markers such as sudah akan, was about to, exist but they're rare. Example 2d, kemarin induk Komodo itu sudah akan pergi berburu ketika seorang wisatawan muncul untuk melihat bayi-bayinya. Yesterday, the Komodo dragon mother was about to go out hunting when a tourist showed up to look at her babies. Telanjur, terlanjur, is a synonym of pernah, sudah, already, or once, but it tends to only show up to emphasize irreversibility in contexts that correspond to the English ended up. Example 3, saya suka Komodo, tapi telanjur memelihara seekor anjing. I like Komodo dragons, but already have a dog. Progressive tense. Indonesian uses sedang, medium, or formal tanga, informal lagi, in contexts that correspond to the English progressive tense, as in ing. Example 4a, Komodo itu sedang mencabiki leher korbannya. Komodo itu lagi mencabiki leher korbannya. The Komodo dragon is tearing at its victim's neck. Lagi functions as an informal equivalent to sedang only when it's in front of the verb. When lagi follows the verb, it expresses its main meaning of again. Example 4b, Komodo itu mencabik leher korbannya lagi. The Komodo dragon tore at its victim's neck again. Future. Indonesian uses akan, formal hendak, informal bakalan, bakal, or mau, in contexts that correspond to the English future tense. Example 5a, Komodo itu tidak akan bisa kubunuh. The Komodo dragon is the one that I will not be able to kill. In addition, corresponding nested time markers such as akan sudah, will have done, exist but are rare. Example 5b, Komodo itu akan sudah kubunuh sebelum pulang. The Komodo dragon is the one that I will have killed before I will return home. Simultaneity. Simultaneous actions by a single actor are expressed using sambil seraya sekalian. Example 1a, Induk Komodo itu memanggilkan bayi-bayinya sambil mencabiki leher korbannya. The Komodo dragon summoned its babies while tearing at its victim's neck. Sekaligus is used to emphasize that the actions are integrated. Example 1b, Komodo itu mencabiki leher korbannya dan mencungkil matanya sekaligus. The Komodo dragon tears at its victim's neck and gouges out their eyes at the same time. Simultaneous actions by two different actors are expressed using sementara. Example 2. Induk Komodo itu mencabiki leher korbannya sementara bayi-bayinya menuntut makan malam. The Komodo dragon mother tears at its victim's neck while its babies clamor for dinner. Joint action by multiple actors is expressed with bersama, bersama-sama, serentak, serempak, berbareng, and informal barengan. Example 3, Induk Komodo dan bayi-bayinya makan malam bersama. The Komodo dragon mother and her babies eat dinner together. Negative asymmetries. As is also the case for English, the antonyms of positive specific time words are often not the negated form, but instead a different word, such as the pair sudah, belum, already, not yet. Here are some examples. For example, sering, often, jarang, rarely. Hampir nyaris. They mean almost. Hampir is used in all contexts, positive, neutral, negative. In positive context, it means almost finished. Example 1a, Induk Komodo itu berkata, makan malam hampir siap. The Komodo dragon mother said, dinner's almost ready. In negative context, it means was almost finished but didn't. Example 1b, Induk Komodo itu hampir pergi berburu ketika seorang wisatawan muncul untuk melihat bayi-bayinya. Yesterday, the Komodo dragon mother was almost going out hunting when a tourist showed up to look at her babies. However, in negative, adversative contexts, hampir is typically replaced with nyaris. Example 2a, anjing wisatawan itu nyaris ditangkap Komodo itu. The tourist dog was almost caught by the Komodo dragon. Similarly, nyaris and the formal hampir usually replace hampir when the clause includes a negation and expresses almost didn't or by the skin of one's teeth. Example 2b, anjing wisatawan itu nyaris tidak selamat. The tourist dog barely survived.